Right, just a few more examples, guys, so that you understand this concept. I want to start with the easy ones. This is obvious. Right, so you buy something for 100 rand, right?
Mhm.
And you sell it in such a way that you make a profit of 20%, right? So you are thinking before you even sell it. You're saying, I want to make a profit of 20%. Right, so how much are you going to sell the item for? You're going to sell it for 100 and? Is it 120 rand? 120 rand, right? And how do you work out your question? I mean, your solution. You could say profits. You could say profit is 20% of 100, which is equal to 20 rand, right? Therefore, the selling price must be equal to 100 rand plus 20 rand, which is equal to 120 rand. If you don't want to do that, you could say, since I want to get a profit of 20%, remember the buying price is always standing at 100%. It never changes. The buying price is always 100%. But you want to increase it by 20%. So it changes to 120 now, right?
Yeah.
So it's 120%. So 120% of 100 will give you this answer straight away. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let's look at another example for a loss. So suppose you buy something for this time 125 rand, but you make a loss. And maybe your loss is 15%. So how much did we sell this thing for? Right, so the buying price is 125 rand, but you sell it at a loss, 15% loss. So how much is the selling price? Once again, there are two ways of doing that. Some of you would work out the loss as a figure. So the loss should be 15% of 125. How much is that? Yes.
Selling 106 and 25 cents.
15% of 125.
No, sir, that's the answer that you
That's
get.
3 rand and 75 cents.
No, guys, I'm asking for the loss.
3.75.
3.75. 3 rand 75.
Yes.
15% of what? 125, sir?
Yes.
There's no way.
There's no way.
No, I
I'm
actually
like,
not
what?
put up the
So guys,
18 and 75
no
cents.
arguments. Just put this thing in your calculator.
Sir,
Give me the answer.
it's 18 and 75 cents.
How much?
18 and 75 cents.
18 rand 75 cents.
Yes, sir.
Do you all agree?
Yes, sir.
You agree that?
I go whatever they say.
18 rand and
75 cents.
75 cents. So what is the selling price?
106 rand and 25 cents.
How do we get it? Because you need marks, right? You want marks, right? So you don't give me the answer.
Yes, sir.
You give me how you get the answer. Yes.
You say 125 minus 18.75.
Yes. I must see this. I need to see that. What is 125 minus that now?
106.25.
106.25, right? So that is fine. That is simple. If you don't want to do that, you think like this. Your buying price is actually 100%.
Yeah.
So your selling price will be
85.
85%, because the selling price is 15% lower than the cost price. So that is 85%. So to work out your selling price, you just need to work out 85% of 125. Can you verify that? Is 85% of 125 equal to 106?
Yes, sir.
Right, 106 and 25. Okay, so these questions are easy. I'm using profit and loss, right? But do you see that this question is the same or is similar to the question about prices without or with VAT? Okay. So now, let's look at something more challenging. This time, we do not know the cost price, the buying price, but we know that there was a profit made. This guy made a profit of 20%. and he sold the item for, let's say, 250 rand. So somebody sells an item for 250 rand, and he thereby makes a profit of 20%. So how much did he buy it for? Right. So think carefully, the buying price is always 100%, right? So if the buying price is 100%, then this selling price is,
120.
this should be 120%. Okay, so it's 120% of what? Is it 120% of 250?
No.
In other words, is it 120% of the selling price, or is it 120% of the buying price?
120% of buying price.
It is 120% of the buying price, right?
Yeah.
What we don't know here is the buying price. So remember, the selling price is equal to 120% of the buying price. You need to think like that. Your selling price in this case is 120% of the buying price. Then you substitute here. The selling price we know is 250. And we want 120%, I'll write it like this. So this is 120% of the buying price. Now you can solve that equation, rearrange, and get the buying price. So obviously to get the buying price, I need to divide by this number 120 over 100, right? What is 120 over 100?
1.2.
1.2.
Yeah.
So to get this thing on its own, I must divide by 1.2. Do you see that? So do you see why I'm going to take 250 and divide by 1.2? First of all, before we work it out, do we expect our answer to be bigger than 250 or smaller than 250?
Smaller.
It must be smaller, right? Right. So if you get something bigger than 250, then you should suspect something is wrong. And you can check your work. But I'm not saying every time you get an answer that is smaller, then you are right. Okay, so what is 250 over 1.2?
208.3.
208, comma?
8,33.
208,33.
Yes.
Okay, so 208,33. So that must be the buying price. Maybe one last example.
So that's the only method that you can use.
You can use any method, but I'm sure it will be similar to this. It's not like this method is different from any other correct method. Okay, what about this one? Somebody buys an item, we don't know for how much, then sells that item for 1,500 rand. But as a result of that, they make a loss of 10%. When you see questions like this, just don't go 10% of 1,500. You need to exercise some thinking, right? You need to think. The buying price is 100%. The selling price is, in this case,
90%.
the selling price this time is 90%. Right? And it's 90% of what?
The buying price.
It's 90% of the buying price, right? So the selling price in this case is 90% of the buying price. The selling price we are given is 1,500. So this is 90% multiplied by the buying price. 90% is 0.9, am I right?
Mhm.
So to get the buying price, we need to divide by 0.9, right? So divide the 1,500 by 0.9. What do you get?
It's 1,666,67.
0.67. Okay, well done. Can you prove this? Can you just prove this quickly? I know that we rounded off this number, so we will miss a cent or two. So let's see. So this is the starting point. This is your buying price. You want to add 10%. What is 10% of 166,67? This is actually the loss. You lost this amount because it says you are losing 10%. So you lost 10% of the original amount. Okay, what is 10% of that? I think it's 166.67, right?
Yes.
166.67. So if you lost that, then how much did you buy this thing for? We need to take the 1,500, am I right? And subtract the 166.67. Am I right? What do you get? Am I doing the right thing here?
1,333.33.
Sorry?
You're subtracting the 166.
Yeah.
167 from 166.
Yeah, that's what I would say. So
I'm subtracting?
You have to subtract the 1,663.
6.5.
Not
Oh, sorry. So this is the loss,
You get 1,500.
right? So this is the loss, and now you need to subtract it from
1,600.
the 1,660. So to get the buying price. So if you take the 1,666.67 and you minus the 166.67, what answer do you get?
1,500.
1,500.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
You get 1,500.
Yeah.
So does this make it look correct? Yeah. So you can check these things if you have time, of course. Right. Right. So now we were talking about profit and loss. If we don't want to talk about profit and loss, we can talk about VAT, right? And so that is where that question comes in. Can I remove this one?
yes, sir.
No, I can squeeze it here. It's fine. It's fine. That question that we did earlier on, we said the initial amount was not given, right?
No, sorry, it was 570.
No, I mean the one K.
Oh.
Question K. The 570. What was 570? That was including VAT, right?
Yes, sir.
So we need first of all the amount excluding VAT. So the amount excluding VAT we did not know, correct? But how much was VAT?
14%.
14%. And the amount including VAT we are given was 570, right? And we are saying the amount excluding VAT is at 100%, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so what is the amount? What does this amount get to? So this one gets to 114. But it's 114% of what? Of the original, right? So then you go 114% of the original, which we said was X, must be equal to the 570. If you rearrange that, then you get your answer. The same way we did. We said 5 rand. Did we say 5 rand?
Yes.
Right. So X becomes 5 rand. So it is the same concept that we are applying.